Now, you could say that scientists have struck gold in finding a new treatment for brain cancer. Researchers from the University of Cambridge say that smuggling, as they call it, tiny specks of gold into the brain may help to kill tumour cells. That's a much simplified version, as you can imagine. It's a groundbreaking technique, still in its early stages, but we could start to see trials in humans by 2016. Let's get some more details from our health reporter, Smitha Mundasad, who joins me on set here. So, Smitha, how does this work?
The scientists were looking into a brain cancer called glioblastoma, and it's unfortunately the most common type of cancer in adults, but it's really difficult to treat. And even with conventional treatment, survival is about 14 months on average. So they wanted to find a better way to treat it.
Right.
What they did, they created these extremely tiny spheres. I'm talking about so small that they are 400 million times smaller than a human hair.
OK, that doesn't really mean enough. I mean, that's just ridiculously small. I can't even imagine that.
Exactly, ridiculously small. Now, the spheres, inside them, the core is gold. And if you can imagine, around them is coated a drug called cisplatin that's used in everyday chemotherapy for this kind of cancer. So now they've got these amazing little spheres, tiny, tiny things, and they can put them right into the centre of the tumour. They go right into the centre where all that genetic material exists that allows them to replicate. Now, once they're there, they subject these tumours to radiation, the kind of radiation we normally give to people who have that kind of brain cancer. What the radiation does to the gold is interesting. It excites the gold. It makes the gold take in energy, and then the gold, in turn, gives out that energy. Okay? And as it gives out that energy, it breaks bonds in the genetic material of that tumour. So it weakens the tumour. It cuts down all of that genetics in the tumour. So now we have a weakened tumour. That's step one. Step two, you remember that there's some of this drug coating those little balls. So now that can be released. It leaches out as this process happens, and it attacks the tumour further. And they're saying that this kills most of the cancer cells. So
this is a little kind of nanosphere of gold with a drug around it. You apply radiotherapy, it gets excited, it breaks down the tumour, and then the chemotherapy drug is more effective.
Exactly.
Why gold, though?
This is really interesting. So gold is completely inert. It doesn't harm us, and that's why researchers use it. But on top of this, it has this remarkable process where when it becomes that small, absolutely tiny, we can no longer recognise it. It takes on a property that if you shine radiation on it or give it energy in some way, it's able to give it out straight away, very quickly, but to a very small area, so it doesn't harm other parts of the body. OK, and potentially human trials in 2016. OK, that's really interesting. Smitha Mundasad, thank you very much for coming down and explaining that so clearly to us. Plenty more still